Hello everybody, welcome back to That Fiction Life. Today we are reviewing Never Have I Ever, Mindy Kaling and Lang Fisher's latest creation for Netflix. This video will be spoiler free, so make sure to stick around to hear all about it. However, I do have a very important question for the people that have watched this show right at the end, so make sure to stay. If you are new to my channel, we talk about books, movies and TV shows, so if you're in any kind of fandom, I would love to have you join the ranks. Now without further ado, let's begin. So Never Have I Ever is a new teen comedy drama, and we follow an Asian American girl called Davy who has just lost her dad and she doesn't know how to process her grief, so she's living in denial a little bit. She's on a mission to improve her social standing in school by finding a boyfriend. I had such an incredible time watching this show, and they say writers write best when they write from experience. That is definitely the case here. Mindy Kaling has this way of writing these very real characters. If you look at her role on the Mindy Project, she wasn't this ideal character that was supposed to love all the time. I suppose she was almost unlikable or a little bit irreverent at times, and that's what makes her stand out. Davy does questionable things throughout this series. You know, she's a little bit of a liar at times and she exaggerates the truth a lot. And this is the big selling point of this series, because sometimes I find with teen dramas, it is so obvious that it has been written by an adult. Davy just felt authentic as hell here. So the show stars Maitreyi Ramakrishnan, and this is actually her debut role, and she smashed it. Davy was such a layered character, and her portrayal was so witty and charming, yet a little bit controversial at times. She had her tantrums and that typical teenage behaviour, and I think Maitreyi was perfect for this role because she really embodied Davy, and I can't believe this is her first role. I'm so glad that this show had an open casting. I mean, the diversity of the show has to be absolutely commended because it was incredible how many different cultures they explore. You have LGBTQ+ characters dealing with their own issues. I personally loved seeing Davy discover her heritage a little bit along with us. She's going through this constant struggle of people telling her that she's too Indian, and some people will tell her she's not Indian enough. And you have this seemingly perfect cousin of hers living in her house who's basically doing everything perfectly and along to the rules. These characters overall have so much heart. They all have such strong personalities, and the ultimate aspect that won this series for me is that there were no toxic catty characters. It was so original, not putting women against each other fighting over a boy. And it occurred to me halfway through as I was watching, and I thought, why is this plotline not annoying me? It was so refreshing. Honestly, this just looked like a series that Mindy really wanted to make. As if you don't know some of the drama about her involvement with the Mindy Project, she didn't have full creative control at the start of the series, but this from beginning to end just seemed like the perfect blend of Mindy's character. You have little aspects based on her childhood, which she has talked about in interviews, and then you have that comedy aspect, which she's so great at, those one-liners. The romance we have to talk about, because it was cute as hell. The little things that the characters would do for each other would give you those nostalgic feelings, and I'm all for that because in this day and age, especially now, it was so fun escaping and worrying about these teenagers' problems for a few hours. You know, you have everyone overanalyzing everything, you have people falling out of friendships, and there's so many mini character arcs that are developed alongside Davy's story. You have Paxton, who is, you know, he's the boy that Davy's in love with, and we all love Paxton, do we not? Paxton is such a great male lead for this series. His character really surprised me. He does have that sort of player aspect about him. I mean, Darren Barnett really embodied Paxton, and he gave him this very cool, chill vibe, but at the same time, you see these little snippets of him kind of surpassing his reputation a little bit, and I just liked seeing that. I just loved that he wasn't this rude and condescending jerk you usually see in these kind of jock type characters. I loved seeing Paxton's relationship with his sister. I mean, she rocks. Such a highlight character. We also have to talk about Ben, because Ben is also iconic. I wasn't expecting to love his character so much. He's Davy's rival, and he's the one that's kind of fighting her for the top spot in the class, and I wasn't expecting them to have such great banter together. They're supposed to be enemies, but it's so much fun seeing the little digs at each other. I love Davy's friends. Fabiola and Eleanor have their own issues going on, which I also liked because it developed their characters a lot. I loved this cast so much. All their characters felt so special, and I think we needed this show to kind of uplift us a little bit and distract us. I was slightly confused by the genre of this show at first. It seemed as though they glossed over some pretty serious issues in the pilot. From the trailer, it looked as though it was going to be a very light-hearted show. I mean, just reading after. And yet we're crashed with all of this information right at the start. I just think it put me in a little bit of an uneasy mood for the rest of the pilot, because you see something that's a little bit deep and traumatic, and suddenly our protagonist is talking about how much she wants to bang the hottest guy on campus. I'm still recovering from what I just, But the show really found itself as the episodes went by. It became clearer that, as well as being a comedy show, this is also a series about exploring grief, but at the same time it doesn't take itself too seriously. Okay, now my question for people that have seen the show. It's a little bit of a spoiler because I will be mentioning names for this question. So if you don't want to know anything about it, click off this video. I really hope you enjoyed my review of this series. So now for the people that have watched this show. Are you Team Ben or are you Team Paxton? Because I'm having a crisis. We didn't really know it was going to be a love triangle. I did kind of predict that Ben was going to be one of the love interests because I felt that chemistry. Ben and Davy have great chemistry, even though they are supposed to be rivals. I'll be talking a little bit of details about the series now. On the one hand, Paxton was the original. He's the one that Davy really likes. But the fact that Ben waited in the car at the end, that broke the feels, let's be real. And I was fully Team Ben in that car scene. Also, how iconic was that driving of the Porsche? I mean, but then Paxton was outside Davy's house, and that's when the scale shifted back, and now I don't know anything. So I need to know what team you're all on, because I'm undecided as hell. And I hope we get a season 2 so that we can fully explore this triangle. So that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed discussing with me a little bit. Do leave your thoughts below about what you think of the show. I would love to discuss it with you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!